Hey everybody, welcome to a spontaneous, fun announcement that I've got for 2026. I know a lot of people have logged off for the end of the year, but I'm sure a lot of people are still paying attention to social media, specifically LinkedIn and YouTube. So I'm excited to share a big announcement that I've got from my business, and then some of the things that are coming into my inbox and that I'm having conversations with in these meetings that has created this need or created this desire to want to kick off this program. So first things first, I'm thrilled to be sharing that I am kicking off a public speaking coaching cohort group coaching program. Now, this is not just for keynote speakers. If you are a speaker that wants to enhance your brand, wants to enhance your message, wants to enhance your confidence, yes, absolutely. Look into this. I would love to talk with you about it. But this is also for people that are salespeople, real estate agents, lawyers, anybody in a public facing stance, or even if you're presenting at team meetings and you don't feel as confident as you should in those meetings, this is for you as well. So it's really not necessarily just keynote speaking, on stage speaking, but it's meetings and sales pitches and client interviews and all kinds of different things. Or real estate agents, when you're conveying your brand online, how are you showing up? So I'm thrilled to be kicking this off in January. I'm looking at a late January launch. I'm only opening up to 10 people, so there are going to be 10 spots available for this. More information coming on availability, costs, and everything else, and the outline of the program. But I'm thrilled to just soft launch it. It's something that I've been working on for the past couple of years on the side, because as I've been building my business and my executive coaching and my public speaking myself, I've had a lot of instances where people are coming to me that want to be better salespeople, that want to be better internal presenters, that want to be better keynote speakers, want to be better on video and podcast. And, I've been coaching people going on the news as well. So all of these things have brought about a lot of questions that I'm seeing: consistent lack of confidence, consistent need. And so that is the origin of this content. So what I want to share right now is, if you're interested in this program, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things that have popped up over the last year, questions that I've been asked, and things that are confidence builders, or people that are not as confident in these areas, that they're trying to boost their brand, their visibility, their impact, their persuasion. So if you're interested in this at all during this time, please drop me a note at rich@richbracken.com. So without further ado, let's dive into some of the different topics that people have been coming to me with. And this is everything from attorneys to speakers to CEOs to middle managers, directors, people from all kinds of different industries as well, that are coming to me with these similar questions. So number one, why do I overthink? Why do I get so nervous? And why am I so caught up in the moment when I'm speaking, or when I'm about to speak, or when I'm preparing my content? And number one, I will say that overthinking is part of the whole thing. And I'm going to talk about the emotional capacity of it. But when we think about our content itself, a lot of times people are aiming for the perfect word or the perfect phrase, or they're trying to memorize their presentations word for word. And I will say, I learned from experience early on that is one of the most difficult things to do. Memorization takes away the connection, because a lot of times you are diving into, and I know there will be some people that are like, I memorize my speeches, and that's great. If that works for you, fantastic. For people that are trying to become more confident, trying to have better connection in their presentations, memorization is not necessarily the best thing. I will say that when I coach people, or when I present myself, I have an outline of what I want to say. I have a goal, I have a story that I want to tell, I have persuasive points that I want to make, but I don't memorize it word for word. I tried that early on. I tried to memorize the speech, and about halfway through, I forgot the next thing. And I completely blacked out, and I had to really just gather myself and start from scratch in that moment and try to remember what I was going to talk about the rest of the presentation. Bombed miserably. And so this outline mentality of really moving towards this confident connection with your audience it's a better redirection of your energy. And what I mean by that is that when we are thinking about our perfect words, or we're really focusing on the rehearsal of things and memorization of things, we're spending more time sending energy inside. We're stressing out. We're becoming anxious. We're becoming nervous about all the words. I got to get this right. I got to nail this one thing. I've got to remember all these things. And so you're spending all your energy internally, as opposed to worrying about what energy you're spending externally. Because at the end of the day, what you convey to the audience has to be done with confidence and has to be done with a clarity of motion that you're conveying to them, because you're trying to either persuade them to do something, persuade them to make a change, or persuade them to see a different point of view. But if you're spending 100% of your energy or 90% of your energy panicking about your memorization, panicking about all the different things you got to nail perfectly, all the right words you got to say, then you've only got 10% of your energy that's going towards the audience, which is going to fall flat. So being focused more on the confidence of what you're saying and conveying it with that gravitas is critical to any presentation. Sales pitch, keynote, team meeting, no matter what it is, you've got to have the confidence to deliver and not worry about being too precise. Now, when we talk about the emotion, people always ask me, like, do you get nervous before presentations? I will say that I was blessed to not be born with that fiber that 99% of people have, that they're afraid of stages and afraid of microphones and cameras and things like that. I just don't have that. Now, do I get excited before presentations? Absolutely. So whatever butterflies I have are butterflies of excitement. But one thing I want to address is that people feel nervous about public speaking. The old saying is that people would rather be in the casket than deliver the eulogy. And it is the number one fear in our country specifically, is the public speaking fear. So when we think about the nerves and the emotions that come along with it, some people will say, like, I shouldn't be doing this. Why me? Why would people want to listen to what I have to say? They may disagree with me. And, honestly, there are always going to be people that disagree with you. There are always going to be people that don't see it exactly the way you do. But two things. Number one, you have a perspective of one. Nobody else has seen the world and experienced the world the way you have. I don't care if you're talking about real estate finance or you're talking about general motivation. Nobody has seen the world you have. Nobody has the perspective that you have. So nobody can truly tell you that you're wrong, because you have seen things the way you have seen them and you have formulated opinions and points around those. Yeah, there's going to be things that you have to be accurate on. But at the end of the day, you can't worry about who's going to be judging you on something, or who's going to be challenging you on something. I've been challenged in presentations before too. I'll take that all day long, because it means that people want to hear what I have to say and they're actually listening. So if somebody's challenging you, they're actually paying attention, which is a huge compliment, to be honest. But when we think about the nerves that we have, 9 times out of 10, it's because you care about what you're saying. It's because you care about your brand. You're caring about the impact that you have, and you're caring about the audience and wanting to make them better. So I'll take somebody who cares and is a little bit nervous over somebody who could give a damn less and is just delivering because they're looking for a check or they're looking for some disingenuous connection. That is not the way to go about it. You're not going to have longevity. You may have some short-term success, but you're not going to have longevity. I've seen speakers, I've seen salespeople that deliver, and they deliver confidently, but the intent is what's making it disingenuous. So don't think that because you're nervous is because you're not confident. It's because you care. It's because your body is getting ready. Your mind is getting ready to deliver this content. And it's just a factor. One of the things I love that Mel Robbins said a long time ago is that these physical cues, having clammy hands, or your heart rate goes up, or the signs of what you think are nervousness, are actually confidence that something really cool is about to happen. And she retrained her mind to think that way. So instead of saying, you know what, I'm getting sweaty armpits, it means I'm nervous and something bad's going to happen. No, it actually means that something cool is about to happen. You're about to go step out on a stage and deliver a keynote, or you're about to go give a sales pitch that you really care about. One of my best sales pitches I ever gave, I was drenched with sweat by the time I got done with it, because I really genuinely cared about winning that deal, helping that organization out. And so it was critical for me to nail that. Now, was I a mess and had to literally take my clothes to the dry cleaner that same day? Absolutely, yes. I'm not afraid to admit that. But it's because my body was getting used to that kind of delivery. My body was caring about what I was doing. And so therefore my energy was a lot higher than it normally was. So just because you're not confident or that you're feeling this nervousness doesn't mean you're not confident. So put that to bed, that your energy is misguided or that you're not cut out for it. Everybody has something to say. You have a perspective and you have knowledge that nobody else has. So you need to be conveying that. The other one too is that we often confuse confidence with clarity. And a lot of times I'll hear people say like, I've got to nail it 100%. I've got to know exactly what I'm saying before I go out there. A little bit different than memorization, but they feel like they have to be 100% bought into what is going on. And they have to know all the things before they step out on stage. And what I will say this is that you could have all the knowledge in the world. You could have vast amounts of knowledge, but if you step out on stage or you step in front of a client or you step in front of your team and you're portraying a lack of confidence, if your head is down or your shoulders are slunched over, or maybe your voice doesn't have the same kind of energy that it should if you're trying to persuade or convince somebody, then that knowledge goes nowhere. Because everything, it's, I tell my sons all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you can be 75% assured of what you're saying. You can have the knowledge to a high level, but maybe not 100% of that knowledge, but convey it with confidence, and it's going to go a lot further. And maybe it's just an additional conversation that needs to be had. I will say too, when people ask questions during presentations or Q&A or a sales presentation, and I don't know the answer, I have no problem saying, you know what, I'm not 100% sure and I want to be 100% sure for you. So let me go do some research on that and I'll come back and give you an answer. There's nothing wrong with saying that. So many people panic because they don't want to stand in front of somebody and not know an answer. You're not expected to know everything. Nobody in this entire world knows everything. So putting aside that nervousness and just saying, look, I'm confident in my knowledge and I'm happy to be wrong or I'm happy to be challenged because it brings about a different conversation. That is where you're going to get traction. That's where you're going to have success as a speaker, as a leader, as a great salesperson, to be confident in what you're delivering. So be assured in yourself and be confident when you deliver. And there was one more. Okay, so instead of, we talk about the moment of presenting, the moment, I've got to nail this. It's got to be perfect. This meeting is so critical. I've got to absolutely deliver and drop the mic as soon as this presentation is done. And a lot of times we focus on how do I sound? How, what is going on? What is going on with me? How am I doing? How am I showing up? Instead of saying, what does this audience need? What am I saying that's helping the audience itself? How am I improving them, or how am I leaving them better than I found them? And so many times we get so caught up in our own ego or our own impression or our own presence in the room because we're not as confident or we're not as clear and we're too worried about our result. I will say the first thing about public speaking is that you need to make it about the people that you're talking with. If it's about you, you've already lost. You need to make sure that you are delivering content that's going to improve an audience, that you're delivering a sales presentation to the need of the people hearing it. I take sales presentations every once in a while. Everybody gets the LinkedIn messages about somebody wanting to pitch them, and most times I'll turn them down. But once a month, I will take a sales call from someone just to hear how they're delivering. And a lot of the times they're talking about them, their product, their company. They do not ask me what I need. And I will say, I laugh every time internally, not laugh at them. I laugh every time because the first sales presentation I ever gave, I did the exact same thing and I bombed. I absolutely bombed my sales presentation because I found out later on, because I actually wound up winning the client by another contract, that same group of people, that same group of doctors that I presented to that I bombed on, remembered who I was. And so when I went in and talked with him, when I actually won that account, he said, oh yeah, I remember you. You were the guy that talked 100 miles an hour like you were an auctioneer on Red Bull. In actuality, we wanted to buy the product that was at the end of your table, but you were too busy talking about you, your products, your company, and you never asked us what was important to us. And so had you started with your presentation with, there's a bunch of stuff on this table, what would you like me to talk about first? We would have bought your most expensive product right there on the table. We would have taken that sample from you right there and paid full price for it because we needed that thing that day. But I made it about me. I made it about my company. I made it about my products. I did not make it about them. I made it about me landing the sale, not me providing value to them. So when we think about the moment should be about how am I making that audience, that client, that prospect better. It shouldn't be about you at all. So those are some of the different things that I'm getting from people when they're asking about, public speaking or sales presentations or just some executive presence pointers. on public speaking. So that's why I'm launching this program, and I'm thrilled to be launching it. I'm sharing it with my network here first. I've got some more ads and content that are coming soon. But if you're interested in this program at all, please drop me a message. Obviously, the email is sitting right here in front of me. But I would love to help because, again, like I'm here to help people become more confident. I believe everybody has something to say. Everybody can and should get better at public speaking, no matter what role you're playing, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you're trying to convey. Everybody can be a little bit better. And over the course of the last couple of years, I've worked with tons of people just helping them get better, conveying confidence, conveying a right message, making sure that they're taking care of their audience. And again, it's sales, it's keynote speaking, it's webinars, it's podcasts, it's television appearances, it's talking in team meetings, anything and everything where you're actually talking to someone else or talking with someone else. I don't care if it's 1 people or 1,000 people. That's why I'm here to help. So I'm excited to be launching this program next month. If it is something you're interested in or you want to learn more about it for your company, please drop me a message, rich@rechbracken.com. More information coming soon, but I just wanted to pop on here and share it because I am so excited about this that I just couldn't keep the secret any longer. So more information coming. Again, drop me an email if you're interested. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. If you're celebrating already, if you've got something coming up this week that you're celebrating, please rest, relax, travel safe, enjoy your time with your friends and family. And I look forward to a very prosperous, very punctual and impactful 2026 with each and every one of you. So take care, and I hope to talk with you very soon.